So today we're going to be talking about digital responsibility and how you can use AI to develop critical thinking in your students. What does the world hold for students who've used ChatGPT to get through university and then in the professional world? So that's why I like to call AI misuse. So today we're going to be talking about that. How is AI being misused and how can we train our students? How can we create a culture where we train our students how to use it effectively and properly? Are we actually on the cusp of using AI to develop this critical thinking in our students? And can we show them how to use it ethically and responsibly in our classrooms? Yeah, that's what it's about. It's about developing that culture in your classroom. We can't have that knee-jerk reaction. We say, no AI in my classroom. If you do that, then of course students are going to continue to misuse it. It's like when the internet first came out. We say no internet. No. How can we effectively use it? How can we reuse it ethically and responsibly in our classrooms? I had a podcast chat with a man all the way up in Vietnam. He's the owner of Eduverse. And he said, we have to train our students to use ChatGPT and these other AI platforms like a calculator. Number one, you're going to be designing effective AI-assisted learning objectives. How can you utilize AI to create do-nows, starters and main activities? And finally, how can you create effective plenaries using AI? Now, as you can see, I've color-coded these. So one effective strategy I'd like to share with you today, before we talk about AI, color-coding your objectives. It can be really, really effective because you then create that challenge. That's what they're going to be doing at the beginning of the lesson, okay? And then as the lesson becomes more challenging, and once you made this on one PowerPoint, it's pretty straightforward to continue to do that. And then what you do, so what's really, really good practice is, every time you have an activity on the board, have one of them on the board. If someone walks into your lesson and says, what's this lesson about? Well, my objectives were these. This is the objective they're fulfilling right now. Bloom's is a very, very effective way of just creating that challenge. And towards the end, you want to go to evaluate, judge, critique. If you're doing, and I'm sure you do this already, if you're doing peer assessment, then they're doing evaluating and also critiquing each other's work. Feed that objective. So you got your objective, right? You're planning your lesson, you got your objective. Feed it into ChatGPT and ask it this question. Create me 3 tiered Bloom's learning objectives based on mine. Feed your objective in. Once you've done that, it's going to give you 3 different learning objectives based on Bloom's. After you've done it for a while, you'll be able to do that yourself. Okay? Can you see how effective that is? Yeah? Very, very straightforward. What are the implications of AI on teaching? Well, AI platforms, okay, can create personalized learning pathways for all of your students. Those of our students that have special needs often have learning pathways. But AI can be used, especially with marking tools I'm going to show you. It can be used to create personalized learning pathways. Okay? They can also identify where students need individual support. But who does it give the information to? That's you, the teacher. Yeah, as you can see in red, the teacher remains at the front and center of everything that we do. For students with special educational needs, you've got AI text-to-speech software, speech-to-text software that can also be used by them in the classroom to access the learning. The first thing I want to talk to you about, we have our learning objectives, right? We talked about our learning objectives. We're going to color our learning objectives from now on. We're going to tier them. If we're not sure how to tier them, we're going to feed it into chats and we're going to get our 3 tiered objectives. After you've got your objective, it's very important that you have a great start to your lesson. Yeah? Sometimes the start to a lesson, we are talking today about critical thinking, yeah? The start to a lesson can be very important in setting the foundations of the class. Greet students at your door. Have them lined up, okay? Quiet. We're not going to go in until it's quiet. A great start is very important. They know that you mean business when you're at the door. Have a do now task in front of them if you can. That requires no input from you. It can be on the board. This is your do now. It can just be a question, a thinking question. Do now. What are we going to be doing today? Okay, that's interesting. What about the orange? What's happening there? Talk them through it. And then the red, what we're going to be doing toward the end of the lesson? What's the hard part of the lesson? The copying down doesn't solve anything. Talk them through it if you want, if you find it helpful. Okay? Because the research has shown, especially the great teaching model, the research has shown copying it down solves nothing. Connect your learning with the bigger picture so they understand why they're doing what they're doing in that lesson. TeachMe, as you can see on the board, will allow you to generate resources for your lessons online. It's an AI platform, okay? But like I said, you're the person in charge, okay? You're the person that will utilize what it gives you as much or as little as you want. This is just a tool, Okay, this is your starting point. Lesson Up gives you a great, very, very basic PowerPoint, which you can then tailor and edit yourself. Yeah, it doesn't have the learning objectives how you want it. It doesn't have a do now. It gives you a whole bunch of teaching resources. Teachable was created by a woman who was on her maternity leave, who wanted to do something for the teachers that were out there, who were still in the classroom, who were very, very busy. Gradescope is great because, I don't know about you guys, but sometimes marking can take up a lot of my time. Okay, if a student's done an extended piece, you can feed it into Gradescope, and what it will do, it will mark the piece of work for you and give you diagnostic analysis. Gradescope's a great way of giving those targets for your students. When you have that conversation with your student afterwards, they'll appreciate much more because you can create a tailored pathway for them. We can't all have robotic 24-hour TAs. However, this is a small step towards that.